News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. The U.S. and its allies are pushing a draft UN Security Council resolution that would open the door to sanctions or even military action if Iran does not ease its chokehold over the Strait of Hormuz. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is calling on other countries to condemn Iran's actions.
Say that it is wrong for you to put mines there. It is wrong for you to shoot at commercial vessels. Guys, that's what we're talking about here. These guys are bombing commercial vessels. They're not bombing naval vessels. They're bombing commercial tankers.
The draft resolution would need support from China and Russia to pass. Secretary Rubio says Iran's economy and leadership are crumbling.
So, look, the time's come for Iran to make a sensible choice. And it's not easy for them to do that, obviously, because they have a fracture in their own leadership system. And apart from that, I mean, the top people in that government are, to say the least, they're insane in the brain.
The U.S. played down the prospect of a return to active war with Iran, with officials saying the ceasefire is intact. Iran's president says the U.S. demands are impossible. President Trump says the U.S. controls the Strait of Hormuz.
We have a situation where we have total control. As you know, the blockade's been amazing. It's like a piece of steel. Nobody's going to challenge the blockade. And I think it's working out very well. We're going to see. I can say this, Iran wants to make a deal.
President Trump says the rising cost of oil is a small price to pay for the war in Iran. Oil is still high, but it's pared back some gains. WTI topping $102 a barrel. Brent crude passing $110 a barrel. S&P and NASDAQ reached all-time highs. We bring you the closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. S&P gained 58 points. NASDAQ gained 258. The Dow gained 356 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.42%. The 2-year yield at 3.93%. President Trump will be meeting next week with China's leader, Xi Jinping. China has ordered companies not to abide by sanctions on private refiners linked to the Iranian oil trade. But Trump says China's not really an issue.
We haven't been challenged by China. They don't challenge us. And he wouldn't do that. I don't think he'd do that because of me. But I think he's been very respectful. And we've offered, if he wants to send the ships to the United States.
The two leaders are slated to meet May 14th and 15th in Beijing. The SEC is proposing amendments that would allow companies to file semi-annual reports rather than quarterly reports to meet their interim reporting obligations under the Securities Exchange Act. The move aims to reduce administrative burdens, lower costs, and encourage long-term corporate strategy over short-term earnings. Former Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin supports it.
There's too many companies that are too focused on quarterly earnings and whether they miss or beat expectations, analysts' expectations. So I think the idea of giving companies the option of whether they want to do quarterly or semi-annual is a good thing.
Hear our interview with former Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin at the Milken Global Conference on the Bloomberg Talks podcast. Pinterest shares jumped after that company reported first quarter sales topping analyst estimates. Pinterest CEO Bill Ready says they've seen 10 straight quarters of double-digit growth in users and more than 80 billion searches per month.
So much of shopping is a visual journey, and so we are really focused on that. And of those 80 billion searches per month, more than half of them are commercial, which is a much more significant skew towards commerciality. So it really has become a great shopping destination for our users.
You can hear more from Pinterest CEO Bill Ready on the Bloomberg Talks podcast. Pinterest shares gained about 7% in regular trading. Advanced Micro Devices gave a strong forecast for the current period as it cashes in on AI spending. AMD shares now more than 5% higher in the post-market. Live Nation reported mixed first quarter financial results as concert demand remains strong, but its legal fees hit its earnings. Shares of Live Nation are up about 1.4% in after-hours trading. And shares of Super Microcomputer jumping in the post-market, now more than 20% higher after the company gave a forecast for profit in the current quarter, topping analyst estimates, signaling that the company is controlling the costs of getting its powerful AI servers into customers' hands. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.